Today's podcast is in response to conversations I have with people all the time. I spoke to a man recently about his health. He's dealing with swollen feet, he's experiencing neuropathy, he's pre-diabetic, has high blood pressure, overweight. And when you hear all of that, you might expect someone to be deeply concerned about what their body is telling them. But that wasn't really his attitude, at least not on the surface. When I asked him about the pain and what he was experiencing, his response was almost like, yeah, I just ignore it. He basically said, I can't be bothered with that right now. I just get on with my life. And then came the statement I've heard so many times in different forms. Well, I'm getting older. It is what it is. What can I do about it? And that stops me every time. Because I think there's something much deeper happening in that statement than the acceptance of aging. Sometimes I'm getting older becomes a convenient explanation for everything. The swollen feet, the pain, I'm getting older. The fatigue, the high blood pressure, the blood sugar creeping up. That's just what happens. And once we decide that these things are simply inevitable, we don't have to do anything about it. We could scapegoat aging as the problem, so we don't have to take responsibility for our health. It is out of our control. There's nothing we can do about it. We don't have to ask, what can I change? So we get to stay the same. Because if there's nothing I can do, then there's nothing I need to change. And that is where I think we need to have a conversation about aging. Yes, we know aging is real. Our bodies change as we age. Our risk for certain conditions change. We may not have the same physical capacity as we had at 25, unless we're intentional about what we do. I say maybe because some people have clawed back years, sometimes decades in their biological health through a consistent fitness regime, diet, and lifestyle change. I've seen it. People who are strong and agile in their 80s and 90s, living independently and confidently. But it requires adaptability. What does that prove? It proves that aging and helplessness are not the same thing. So why make the body the problem? I wonder how many of us have quietly developed an adversarial relationship with our own bodies. We treat the body like an inconvenience. It gets tired when we need to keep going. It hurts when we need to be productive. It gains weight when we want our clothes to fit. It develops symptoms when we don't have time to deal with them. And sometimes we become annoyed with our bodies for having the audacity to tell us something is wrong. Why is my body doing this to me? But what if we turned that question around? What if the body isn't doing something to you? What if your body is trying to communicate with you? Now let me be very clear. I'm not suggesting that every symptom has an obvious lifestyle cause or that we should diagnose ourselves by simply listening to our bodies. That's not what I'm saying. Pain, swelling, numbness, these things deserve proper medical assessment. But we're talking about being disconnected from our bodies. You can see your doctor and still ignore your body. You can get a diagnosis and still decide, well, there's nothing I can do about it. And that is the part I want us to talk about. What if the symptom isn't the enemy? We're scared of the symptom. We want it to go away. And I understand that. But often we show little consideration to what is happening in our bodies. Imagine your car dashboard light lights up with a warning. I'm sure you know where I'm going with this analogy. You don't normally pull out the bulb and say, there, problem solved. Then continue driving, believing with confidence everything is fine now. You understand that the warning light is telling you something needs attention. But sometimes we do exactly that with ourselves. We silence the signal, we ignore the pain, we push through fatigue, normalize poor sleep, accept constant digestive discomfort, accept rising blood pressure, accept blood sugar issues and insulin problems, and eventually, something that should have prompted curiosity becomes something we simply live with. That's just me. That's just my age. Everybody in my family has that. There's nothing I can do. But sometimes the most dangerous sentence isn't, I have a problem. It's, there's nothing I can do about it. Because once I believe I'm powerless, I no longer have to change. And I no longer have the power within me to change. Let's talk about the comfort of powerlessness. Yes, sometimes powerlessness is actually very convenient. If I believe my health is completely outside my control, then I don't have to examine my habits. I don't have to change what I'm eating. I don't have to move my body, look at my sleep, examine my stress, ask why I'm constantly exhausted, make difficult changes. I can simply say, I'm getting older, and continue exactly as I am. Now, I'm not saying people consciously think this way. Most people aren't sitting down and saying that. It's much more subtle than that. Sometimes we have simply repeated the story so many times that we've come to believe it. And when a story becomes a belief, that belief begins to shape our behavior. Then it becomes a truth. The fallacy becomes so ingrained that when it's challenged, we even defend it, defending it at the cost of our own health. Someone experiences a new health problem and immediately attributes it to age. But here's the question I want to leave with you today. Is it really age? Or have we simply stopped questioning our body's ability to change? Yes, there are things about our age that we cannot control. We cannot control time. We cannot turn back the clock. We cannot demand that our 60, 70, or 80-year-old body behave exactly like our 25-year-old body. Of course, there are those who boast that they have more energy and are stronger than they were at 25, but that's because their beliefs empower them to take intentional, focused action. There are many aspects of health and well-being that are influenced by what we do repeatedly. How we nourish our bodies, how much we move, how we sleep, how we manage stress, how much time we spend sitting, how we relate to alcohol, smoking, or other harmful habits, how connected we are to other people, especially positive and healthy-minded people, how we respond to stress, how we pay attention when something changes, and whether we are willing to adapt to the changes in our bodies. That's not about chasing youth. We all have to grow old. It's about supporting the body you have now. Your body has been talking to you. And perhaps this is the real issue. Maybe the body isn't suddenly failing us. Maybe we've simply stopped listening. Your body has been adapting to everything you've given it. The food, the movement or lack of it, the stress, your sleep, the environment, the years of pushing through, the years of putting everyone else first, the years of saying, I'll deal with myself later, and the body keeps adapting until eventually, sometimes it doesn't whisper anymore. It gets louder. And when it gets louder, we can either become angry with it or we can become curious. What is happening here? What have I been asking my body to carry all these decades? What needs my attention? What can I change? That is a very different relationship with your health. We don't have to wait for a crisis. One of the things that concerns me is how often we wait for a crisis before we decide our health matters. We wait until the diagnosis, until the hospital visit, until the pain becomes unbearable, the medication list gets longer, until something happens that finally frightens us into paying attention. But what if wellness means learning to listen before the crisis? What if we stopped viewing health as something we deal with when we're sick? What if we understood health as an ongoing relationship with ourselves? Just attention, awareness, responsibility, and a willingness to adapt. You see, you are not your diagnosis. And I want to say something else. A health condition doesn't mean you're failed. A diagnosis doesn't mean you've done everything wrong. There are people who do everything they know to do and still develop health conditions. That isn't about blame. It's about agency. You are not a passive passenger in your health, going along for the ride wherever it takes you. You have the power to shape your behavior, and you're responsible for the journey. There's a huge difference between saying, this is my current reality, and saying, there is nothing I can do about it. You may not be able to control everything, and you don't need to. But there may still be something you can do. And sometimes that something is small. A better meal, a walk, going to bed earlier, drinking more water, getting an assessment, actively monitoring your sugar levels, asking better questions, reducing one harmful habit, adding one supportive habit, then another thing and another thing. We don't have to transform our entire lives overnight, but we do have to stop telling ourselves that nothing can change. And there's another thing. For some, if they feel change will take too long, they rather not change at all. That attitude keeps them stuck in mediocrity and powerlessness. Instead, choose to believe something different. One step compounds into many over time. The result of that is a stronger body and increasing health. The word says that by special mightiness, we can live longer. It's not just about living longer, but better. Let's be determined to make that our mindset. Remember, what the mind believes, the body obeys. It's about relationship with yourself, coming back to yourself. This is really what I mean when I talk about living naturally. It's not simply about eating natural foods. It's about coming back into relationship with yourself, paying attention, recognizing that your body is not an enemy, that your emotions carry information, recognizing when you're exhausted and giving your body what it needs, recognizing when you're living in a way that isn't supporting you, and having enough self-love to respond. Because your body is the place where you experience your entire life. You don't get another one to live in. So perhaps we need to stop treating our bodies like troublesome possessions that occasionally interrupt our lives. Your body is not interrupting your life. Your body is the vessel through which you experience it. Perhaps the question isn't, how do I get my body to stop bothering me? The better question is, what has my body been trying to tell me that I have been too busy, too afraid, or too uncomfortable to hear? Going back to that man, not with judgment, but with compassion. There are so many like him, people who have lived this way for years, people who have become so accustomed to discomfort that discomfort feels normal, who have decided that getting older means declining, who have stopped believing that their choices can make a difference. Sometimes too, they're tired. They are tired of trying and failing. I sympathize. And maybe someone listening today have been feeling the same thing. I'm getting older, what can I do? Well, you can't stop getting older, but you can ask, what aging well could look like for you. You can learn, you can adapt, you can change what is within your control. You can begin listening to your body again, because your body deserves your attention. So the next time your body gets your attention, instead of immediately asking, how do I make this go away? Pause and ask, what is my body asking me to notice? Because sometimes the beginning of a healthier life isn't another diet or supplement. Sometimes it's simply learning to listen again. Your body is sacred. There's one more perspective I want to leave with you today. For those of us who hold a belief in a higher power, the Most High, the word gives us a very different way of looking at the body. It doesn't describe the body as a nuisance, an inconvenience, or merely a machine that we use to get through life. It speaks of your body as the temple of the living God. A temple is used as an analogy here because it's something that is valued, it's cared for, and is treated with reverence. But the word also says that He doesn't dwell in those handmade temples. While many focus on the buildings as sacred, God's focus is you. You are the temple. Your body is a vessel that is precious to the Creator. And when you really sit with that idea, it changes the way you see yourself. Your body is the vessel through which you experience this life. Through it, you experience the warmth of the sun. You enjoy tasty food, listen to music, watch a movie, connect with the people you love, fall in love, walk, dance, work, create, laugh, rest, see the wonders of life. You experience the beauty of nature. You experience the Creator through your body. Everything you experience in this physical life is experienced through this remarkable body. We need to stop thinking of the body simply as a tool we use to accomplish things. It is not merely a tool, it's a gift. And if we believe that our body is a temple, then caring for it isn't vanity. It isn't obsession with appearance. It isn't about trying to live forever. It's about stewardship. We are caretakers of our bodies, entrusted with the responsibility to protect it. Some of us look after our cars, homes, and money more than the health of our own bodies. It's about cherishing what has been entrusted to us, paying attention when the body speaks, nourishing it rather than constantly depriving it, allowing it to rest, moving it, protecting it from what continually harms it. And when something isn't right, it means not simply saying, I'm getting old, what can I do? And somehow hoping it will get better if we just ignore it. It means caring enough to say, something has changed, let me pay attention. Because this body is where we live. One of the greatest acts of caretaking is recognizing that your body deserves to be treated with the same care and reverence that you would give to something you consider sacred. Your body is not a nuisance standing in the way of your life. Your body is how you get to experience it. So cherish it, listen to it, care for it, and honor the gift of being alive in it. I know this was a bit of a long podcast. Thank you for being with me today. If this blessed you, like and subscribe. It helps the channel. If you are interested in holistic wellness advisory, feel free to reach out. The link is in the description. Take care of you. Catch you on the next one.